folks, welcome to the New Movie Thing show, where we talk about brand new movies out in the cinema. We're talking about Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. I'm Matt Lieberman.
Dame to Kill For, I'm Lee Newton. I think that my favorite part of this movie, hands down, is that the titular line is actually in the movie, which is not something you get. Like,
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, something you get.
Yeah, there's nobody who, like, pulls the two guys in weird science aside and are like, hey, that's some weird science.
Yeah, or there's no one that, like, pulls it over and is like, hey, I can't help it, we're just Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
you
or
know?
a guy
like, well,
pulls him aside and is like, hey, you got a brave heart.
Yeah, or like someone pulls him aside and we're like, we're all just walking on the bridges of Madison County. Like, no one does that, but in this movie, it literally is like,
God,
that
this
girl,
sure is
she's a dame to kill for, and you're like, titular line!
Yeah.
What?
Man, this sure is a night at the museum to a night at the Smithsonian, or Battle of the Smithsonian.
Battle of the Smithsonian.
So this movie is the long-awaited sequel to the 2005 movie Sin City from Robert Rodriguez and Frank Miller. What's to say? Here's the important thing. Before we even get into like anything else about this movie, if you loved the first Sin City, you'll love this movie.
You'll love this movie.
If you love Robert Rodriguez movies, you'll love this movie. If you love Frank Miller, you'll love this movie. Yeah.
If you don't,
I mean, here's what I'll admit. The first Sin City movie for me is like a 6. Like, it's very cool, but ultimately, like, I think the Marv story worked in that movie, but the rest of it just wasn't for me. I would say this movie objectively is a lot better because of focus narratively.
Okay.
The movie gives you 2 main villains to focus all your anger and energy towards, so you have something as an audience to latch onto. It's like, I want to see these people pay.
Yeah.
And that to me, like, makes it easier to go on all these various journeys with all these people.
Yeah. I mean, I think, and I'm a big fan of the first one, actually, and I think I would actually say that it's more like just on the same level. I wouldn't say it's a little bit better, because there was things that I, of course, missed from the first one, and I think there's even stuff that was like in the first one that was kind of lacking in this one as well.
Can you give any examples?
Well, like, I think that, I don't know, I think it was a lot more succinct in the separate stories as the last one. And I just think overall the talent was a little bit better in the last one. Maybe that's just me. Not that it was bad in this one. It was just like, you know, you can only watch Jessica Alba for so long. Banging bod, though.
Banging.
Knocking it out of the park.
Listen, just, mom body.
You popped out 2 babies.
Whoa. And you snap back.
Dude, good for you.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you like nudity and stripping.
If you like that.
Go see this movie.
Yeah,
if you like white blood, go see this movie. Yeah.
And I think, just certain things, like, I think that the talent was a little bit better. I will say that the voiceover thing, I mean, last time it was the same exact shit where it was like, it's the city in the darkness. But this time, you have to deal with Josh Brolin, Mickey Rourke, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who are all doing versions of Mickey Rourke. So that was the only issue that I had. Like, they're all like talking. And I'm like, wait, whose story is this again?
And then it's Jessica Alba effectively doing Mickey Rourke.
She is. She literally is like, everyone said it was and you're just like, I can't anymore. It was just literally like a voice off of like how possibly ridiculously descriptive. I don't remember the last Sin City being that overtly descriptive, like,
oh no,
I picked up the cigarette, she held it in my hand, I twisted it like a lemon twist of a tree that the tree never dropped and the sun never shined, and you're like, can we please?
And in that darkness I found a lover, and that lover was death. I put death in my mouth and I lit it up and I breathed deep.
So part of me really does like that. And I understand that that's exactly what it's supposed to be. I really liked it. I think that I will also say Eva Green, who I mean, she's, oh yeah,
into next year,
but also
into next decade.
I was really surprised by her because I've seen her before in other stuff, and I've been like, okay, we got it. Yeah. But she was like, she took that on hard.
Oh yeah,
she like took on the style super hard.
The femme fatale, and she just knocked it out of the park.
She really did.
Yeah, I have been
also great tit work.
Oh yeah, I've been in love with her and also her tit work since.
Her tit work is since the Dreamers.
Yeah,
right?
Bertolucci's
the Dreamers. Yeah.
Up top for Noah the Dreamer.
Oh, I love the Dreamers.
Leading
But that was
with
like,
that NC-17 art house shit.
She came on the scene and she didn't
And she did not stop.
She has yet to put a shirt on.
No,
she really
not
has.
ever. Even in like Casino Royale, where she was wearing a shirt the whole time, you were like, no, those are nipples.
Those are
that's not a real shirt.
But I have to be honest, man, if I had that rack, you would all
everywhere
know how to draw it. Like it was, I mean, whew,
you would release a book of how to draw it because so many people would be in the market to draw them.
Perfect boobs.
They're the draperage.
I think she gets it. I think she's like, no, this is a gift.
Right.
And you're like, well, you have to share your gift
right.
with the world.
It's like Perky, but with a drape.
It's just,
yeah.
You know.
They're good.
I mean, it's what, Rembrandt would hope for.
Right. I can understand why so many guys would immediately be seduced into doing whatever she wanted.
That's a dame to kill for.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Okay, so we looked on Rotten Tomatoes, and it is at a staggering 43% right now.
Not exactly fresh.
No, not exactly fresh.
This isn't a movie necessarily for critics.
Yes, it really isn't.
It's pulpy, and it's about action, and it's about, something visceral, and if you want this story, you already know you want it.
Yeah, and I will say, there's definitely, different critics are going on different ends of it.
There's reasons why they like it, reason why they don't.
And I understand it is. We watched it in 3D, and I will say that actually added to it.
Oh
a
yeah,
lot,
the 3D is excellent. And I think one of the best things about this movie and what makes it better for me is that the technology has advanced so far from what they were able to do 9 years ago that it's even more creative in how they juxtapose it like a comic book. It's
and it really does,
cool.
in a weird way, have that extreme comic book feel.
Yeah.
Like you feel like you're looking, especially if you've read any of Frank Miller's graphic novels, you really do feel like you're looking through the book because they capture it so well.
Yeah,
and
the way they push between frames and it's so cool. And on IMDb, it got a 7.6 out of 10. So audiences are enjoying it a lot more than the critics.
Yeah.
So, if this is your sort of thing, definitely go and go see it. The things I really did like, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, most likable character in the movie.
Yes.
He's the only character, he was made specifically for this movie. He was not in the comic books.
Okay.
All those scenes were added, but he's just so effortlessly charming in the movie, and you identify with his struggle.
He's ridiculously charming in it, and he is super, aside from his Mickey Rourke voiceover, it's still adorable. He's still the most adorable man of all time. I keep expecting him to break out into 500 Days of Summer song, or get a ukulele.
Well, I mean, in this black and white kind of thing, I just want him to put on a top hat and tails and fucking go Fred Astaire style. Yeah.
But no, he was actually really good, and he was really hard and really nice in that. And then it was good to see people in the last one came in the first one. So obviously Marv is in it, and Mickey Rourke's unreal. He's always the best.
There was no reason to bring Bruce Willis back. This is so spoilers. He comes back as a fucking ghost. He is a ghost, but Jessica Alba can't even see him. So he's just a ghost for ghost's sake. So he can talk about how sad he is that he's a ghost.
No, it's so they can pay him a little bit of money and he can still be in the film and still be attached to the name. That's how that works.
But there's no reason.
No, I mean there's the reason of a haunting. It's a haunting. It's very noir. It's very that tone to it.
Right.
And there was things that I did like. I did like the fact that the technology has moved so much faster. I like Frank Miller. I like Robert Rodriguez films. So I really I understand that it's senseless violence, but it is what it is. I know it's exactly what it's supposed to be, and it's kind of that's the way it goes in that zone. I do think there's a lot of really cool, groundbreaking stuff in there that I think is always fascinating.
I agree.
Did you have gripes? I liked most of the actors in it. I thought they were really, really good.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin he's a badass.
I love Josh Brolin.
He fits right in everything.
He fits in perfectly.
He fits in perfectly.
He's so good.
And he was naked, so go for it.
Yeah, but there's still no dingle.
So no dingle.
No
you can't
dingle.
show
You get all the boobies
Eva
and all
Green
the butts.
Can show her greens.
Her great greens.
The entire time.
Yeah.
I think about how long it takes to film a movie. Just nude the entire time. There's a nice little cameo, spoiler alert, by Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga's in it, and she actually does just fine.
And
totally adorable.
the little girl from Spy Kids also makes an appearance for half a second as a stripper.
Tiny appearance. Oh, thank you so much.
This
Get out of
movie
here!
thing show is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, the makers of fine beverages everywhere and around.
It was horchata.
It was horchata.
It's so good.
Horchata.
It's so good.
Here's my gripe, and it's purely from a scripting perspective. I think Frank Miller is one of the greatest writers in comics. I think his stories work really well on a page. He knows how to write dialogue that's compelling. He knows how to craft a bad villain that you really want to see taken down. I like that. On screen, his stories don't have an arc, and these characters don't always have enough. They don't always have a good reason for us to identify with them. We see them, we see Dwight get fucked over. We see Josh Brolin get fucked over, but we have no reason to like him before that. He basically says, like, I'm a monster who killed somebody and I'm trying not to drink. But there's no reason why we like him, and then we just get sucked along in his story, and I'm mostly compelled by the villain, not by him. I'm mostly compelled by Ava Green.
And I think that's exactly what the point of it is. I really do think that's exactly the point of it.
So it's like a Tim Burton Batman.
You know what it is it's the reality is they are all villains. If you actually explore the world of Sin City, they are, every single one of them
it's just different
is
shades
a villain.
of gray.
It's just different, exactly. It's like 50 shades of gray.
At least
if you will.
50, I mean, if you're
But
counting.
no, that's the whole thing, is that it's supposed to be that they're all a little twisted, all a little fucked. And to be honest, I think it's kind of cool when you have the villain, you go like, I'm siding with all of them, because because it is such a bloodbath, because it is such like an insane, world. They're all supposed to be just these, horrible fucking people. Like Marv kills without any abandon.
It's true.
You're not going
but
to
he's
really
ultimately,
emotionally attach
you
with them.
like him because he tries to only kill bad guys.
And I think the whole point of it is that it's just these vignettes, and that's exactly what it is. And I think, if you're going there looking for that you might not get the very intense, like, protagonist, antagonist struggle.
Yeah.
But it's just, you see those things where everyone's just kind of in that world and they're kind of jacked and they're kind of fucked around.
Two last things, though. One, the movie just ends. There's no falling action. It's just kind of like, it's just, all right, it's over. It's like, okay, we shot him, it's over. And there's no resolution, no nothing. We don't know if our heroes lived or died. It's over.
You won't.
It's just over. The other thing, and this is just like so incredibly minor, but it kind of took me out of the movie. There's like weird time jumping, and the first movie did it too.
They do it too.
Where the middle of the movie definitely takes place before the rest of the movie, but then also the middle of the movie, the middle of the movie, and I think the beginning of the movie take place before the first Sin City, but other elements from this movie take place after the first Sin City. So there's a lot of weird continuity that, like, if you think about it, will drive you crazy, so just don't.
So I would say don't think about it, because it actually does, at the end you go like, oh, okay, everything syncs up, everything yada 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 yada. So it does sync up. But yeah, don't think about it. But again, it's very much like, don't go, if you haven't seen the first one and you're like just getting introduced to Sin City through this, don't, because it's not going to be your cup of tea.
Yeah.
But if Frank Miller is your cup of tea, Robert Rodriguez is your cup of tea,
go. Have a
all
blast.
yours.
Yeah.
Have a blast.
Yeah. Have fun with those arrows.
Jessica Alba emote for more than 5 minutes, which can be tedious. But that would be my only gripe.
Right, but then you also get to see her strip all the time.
I mean, again, she's doing okay. But yeah, you'll see her.
There was
literally one scene where you're like, oh. And then she has like normal clothes on and you're like, oh. This took me out of it completely. I don't know how to. Okay.
But she literally went from like one stripping scene in the first one to like 12 in this one.
Yeah, that is true. And because like in the first one it was like a big deal. Like it was like, she wasn't really that person. So then it was like, oh my god,
Jessica Alba's stripping.
And now she's like, yep.
Yeah. I had 2 babies. Check this shit out.
Check it out.
Yeah.
I get it. You also have a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Come at me. Come at me. No,
come at her. Just come at her.
Don't come at me.
Just come at her a little.
Don't have lawyers
just
come at me.
Come at her
It's
so
fine.
you can be here.
You're fine.
Next
You're doing
year.
great.
Into
Why don't you
next
just hang out?
Yep.
Just leave me alone.
Yeah. Folks, thank you so much for watching the New Movie Thing Show. Please let us know your thoughts on the movie down in the comments. We got a bunch of great stuff here on SourceFed Nerd this weekend. We got a SourceFed animated.
Yep.
I think we got bloops.
We got bloops.
Yeah. So, yeah, thanks, guys. We'll see you next week with an all-new movie.
Yeah.
I'm Matt Lieberman.
I'm Lee Newton.
Bye.
Bye.